The courtroom was packed. Reporters lined the benches, their cameras ready to capture every second. Legal analysts whispered among themselves. The air was thick with anticipation because today, Elon Musk was facing judgment. At the front, the judge adjusted his glasses, his expression stern. He glanced at Musk, who sat calmly, arms crossed, as if this were just another business meeting. Then the gavel struck. "Mr. Musk, you are hereby ordered to pay the fine." The amount was staggering. The penalty was meant to be a warning, a punishment, a lesson in humility. But Musk didn't flinch. He simply leaned forward, a small smirk forming on his lips. Because while everyone else thought the case was over, for Musk, the real game was just beginning. The judge's voice echoed through the silent courtroom. "This court finds Elon Musk in violation and imposes a fine of..." He paused, letting the weight of the moment sink in before reading the staggering number. Gasps rippled through the room. Musk sat motionless. No outburst, no reaction. Just that unreadable expression, the one that had left boardrooms and executives guessing for years. Was he unfazed, or was he planning something? Reporters scribbled frantically. The prosecution smirked, thinking they had won. The judge straightened his robe, expecting Musk to accept the ruling. After all, the law was the law. But then slowly Musk leaned forward. He tapped his fingers on the table, a thoughtful rhythm, like a man who had just seen a flaw in a perfect design. Then he spoke. His voice was calm, controlled. "Your Honor, with all due respect, I disagree." The room froze. To understand why Elon Musk was in court, we have to go back several months. It started with a bold decision, one that only Musk would dare to make. Maybe it was a controversial tweet that shook the stock market. Maybe it was a legal battle over Tesla's expansion. Or perhaps it was SpaceX challenging outdated regulations. Whatever it was, one thing was certain. It had caught the attention of the legal system. Regulators weren't amused. A lawsuit was filed, hearings were scheduled, and soon Musk found himself facing a judge. Legal analysts debated the case, many calling it unwinnable. The evidence seemed stacked against him. The opposition was confident. And the judge? He had likely expected Musk to do what most billionaires do, pay the fine and move on. But Musk was not like most billionaires. As the case dragged on, it became clear that he wasn't just fighting for himself. He was making a point about innovation, about fairness, about challenging rules that no longer made sense. And now, sitting in court, facing an enormous fine, Musk wasn't panicked, because while everyone else saw a dead end, he saw an opening. The courtroom was silent, waiting for Musk's next move. He tapped his fingers on the table once more, his mind working like a machine running millions of calculations per second. Then he spoke, his voice calm, deliberate. "Your Honor, I respect the court's decision, but there's a problem." The judge raised an eyebrow. "A problem?" Musk nodded. "Yes, the law you're using to justify this fine, it doesn't actually apply here." The courtroom stirred. The opposing lawyers exchanged confused glances. Musk reached into his briefcase and pulled out a stack of neatly printed documents. He slid them across the table. "According to legal precedent," he continued, "this ruling contradicts previous cases with similar circumstances. Not only that, but the regulation in question was written before the technology in question even existed." He let that hang in the air before adding, "Your Honor, this fine isn't just unfair, it's legally unsound." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. The judge's expression hardened. He took the papers, scanning them quickly. His once firm stance wavered as realization set in. The prosecution scrambled, flipping through their own notes, searching for a counter-argument. But Musk had found a loophole, one so precise, so brilliantly executed, that no one had seen it coming. For the first time since the hearing began, the judge wasn't so sure anymore. And just like that, the momentum shifted. The judge's eyes moved across the documents, his brow furrowing deeper with each passing second. The courtroom, once buzzing with quiet murmurs, had gone completely silent. This wasn't just a billionaire throwing around legal jargon. Musk had found something real, a flaw in the system, a miscalculation that no one, not the prosecution, not even the judge, had noticed before. The opposing attorneys whispered urgently, flipping through their own notes. One of them stood. "Your Honor, we need time to review this." The judge held up a hand. "Sit down." His voice was steady, but something in his tone had changed. He was no longer just issuing a ruling, he was reconsidering it. He cleared his throat, glancing at Musk, who sat there as if he already knew the outcome. "Mr. Musk," the judge finally said, "are you suggesting that this fine has no legal basis?" Musk simply shrugged. "I'm not suggesting it, Your Honor. I'm proving it." A hush fell over the room. The judge exhaled, setting the papers down. He had walked into this courtroom believing this case was open and shut. Now he wasn't so sure, and for the first time, Elon Musk had him on the ropes. The judge leaned back in his chair, exhaling slowly. This wasn't how today was supposed to go. He had entered the courtroom prepared to deliver a straightforward ruling, but now he needed time. He adjusted his glasses and looked at Musk. "This court will take a recess." Gasps rippled through the room. A recess? That meant only one thing. Musk's argument was strong enough to warrant reconsideration. The prosecution, once so confident, suddenly looked uneasy. Musk remained calm. He had done what he came to do. Plant doubt. 30 minutes later, the judge returned, his face unreadable. He cleared his throat, shuffling his papers. The room held its breath. "After reviewing Mr. Musk's argument, I find that his legal interpretation is valid." The opposing lawyers slumped in their seats. Reporters frantically typed on their laptops. Musk, however, simply nodded, as if he already knew the outcome. The judge sighed. "In light of this, the fine will be significantly reduced, or possibly dismissed altogether." A murmur spread through the crowd. Musk had done the impossible. He hadn't just challenged the system, he had beaten it. And as the gavel struck, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. As soon as Elon Musk stepped out of the courtroom, the real storm began. Reporters swarmed him, cameras flashing, microphones shoved in his direction. "Mr. Musk, how did you know about that loophole? Did you expect to win today? What's your message to regulators?" Musk, ever the strategist, simply smirked. "Read the fine print." The clip went viral instantly. Social media exploded with reactions. Some called it genius. Others said it was just another example of Musk playing by his own rules and winning. Legal analysts weighed in on the stunning upset. What Musk did today will be studied in law schools. And then Musk himself joined the conversation. That night he tweeted a single message. "Innovation moves faster than regulations." The internet lost its mind. This wasn't just another lawsuit, it was a lesson, and the world was paying attention. At that moment, Elon Musk didn't just win a legal battle, he proved a point. The world follows rules, but Musk rewrites them. This wasn't about avoiding a fine. It was about questioning outdated systems, challenging authority, and proving that knowledge is the ultimate power. He didn't yell, he didn't argue, he outthought everyone in the room. And that's what makes Musk different. He doesn't just play the game, he changes it. So here's the question. Was Musk right to challenge the ruling? Or should he have just accepted the fine and moved on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because at the end of the day, power doesn't belong to those who follow the rules. It belongs to those who know how to bend them. And Elon Musk? He just bent them in front of the entire world.